Good morning. Today we'll start with the second law of thermodynamics. The topic which we'll discuss is the Carnot cycle. Reversible cycles cannot be achieved in practice because the irreversibility is associated with each process which cannot be eliminated. However, reversible cycles provide upper limits on performance of real cycles. Heat engines and refrigerators that work on reversible cycle serve as modes to which actual heat engines and refrigerators can be compared. Reversible cycles also serve as starting point in the development of actual cycle. So, Carnot cycle, probably the best known reversible cycle, first proposed by French engineer Sadi Carnot. The theoretical heat engine that operates on Carnot cycle is called Carnot heat engine. The Carnot cycle is composed of 4 reversible processes. 2 are isothermal and 2 are adiabatic. The insulation of the cylinder head is such that it may be removed to bring the cylinder into contact with the reservoir to provide heat transfer. The 4 reversible processes that make up the Carnot cycle are followed. So this diagram A, B, C, these are the 4 processes. So first is your reversible isothermal expansion at constant temperature, which is TH, that is your temperature of the hot reservoir. So this process here. So the energy source at TH, hot temperature, is maintained. The heat is taken by this gas working fluid from TH temperature. Initially the temperature of the gas is TH and the cylinder head is in close contact with the source at temperature TH. The gas is allowed to expand slowly, doing work on surrounding. As the gas expands, the temperature of the gas tends to decrease. But as soon as the temperature drops by a small amount dt, some heat is transferred from the reservoir to the gas, raising the gas temperature to TH. Thus the gas temperature is kept constant TH. Since the temperature difference between the gas and reservoir never exceeds the differential amount dt, this is reversible heat transfer process. The amount of total heat transferred to the gas during this process is QH. So means the gas will transfer some amount of heat. This gas will take heat from the energy source, and when it will expand, piston will move. Before the drop of temperature, another amount of heat will be entered into the gas, so that during expansion from 1 to 2, the temperature within this cylinder maintained constant TH. So as the temperature is constant and the process is very slow, and the temperature is finite temperature difference, which is dt, very financial temperature amount dt is maintained. So this process is your reversible isothermal expansion. Isothermal because temperature is maintained constant, reversible because the temperature in financial amount of dt is maintained, and this is very slow process. Next process is your reversible adiabatic expansion, process 2 to 3, shown in here diagram. Now up to here, this is 1 to 2 process. Now this piston will be further expanded, but before the piston start to expand, this part is fully insulated now. Process 2 to 3, temperature drops from TH to TL. At state 2, the reservoir that was in contact with the cylinder head is removed and replaced by insulation, so that the system becomes adiabatic. The gas continues to expand slowly, doing work on the surrounding until its temperature drops to TL. The piston is assumed to be frictionless and the process to be quasi-equilibrium. So the process is reversible as well as adiabatic. So during this expansion process, there is a not heat loss to the surrounding. So this is fully insulated, cylinder is fully insulated. So this is your adiabatic. This process is reversible adiabatic expansion. During this process, the temperature will decrease from TH to TL. Now next process, reversible isothermal compression, process 3 to 4, which is TL is equal to constant. Let's understand this process. Now in the last process, your piston is at this third position. Now what we will do, from third position to piston will move to the fourth position, means this is your isothermal compression. Isothermal means this insulation is removed. During compression process, the temperature of the gas won't rise, means when your piston will move in this direction, the gas will be compressed, its temperature will be raised, but because it is now in contact with energy sink at TL temperature, so whatever the raised gas temperature, the heat is transferred to the sink and temperature will remain constant during the compression from 3 to 4. At state 3, the insulation of cylinder head is removed and the cylinder is brought into contact with the sink at temperature TL. This is your sink temperature, TL, energy sink. Now the piston is pushed inward by an external force doing work on the gas. As the gas is compressed, its temperature tends to rise. But as soon as it rises by an infinitesimal amount dt, heat is transferred from the gas to the sink, causing the gas temperature to drop to TL. Thus the gas temperature remains constant at TL, since the temperature difference between the gas and sink never exceeds a differential amount dt. This is reversible process. Next to your reversible adiabatic compression, process 4 to 1. In the last process your piston was at 4. Now your further is your compression. It is your reversible adiabatic compression. Adiabatic means that this surface is fully insulated. During compression from 4 to 1, there is no heat loss to the environment, and during compression, because of the compression process, the temperature will be raised from TL to TH, means the same as in the first here, means TH temperature, which is at state first, we have to reach at from 4 to this first state. Process 4 to 1, temperature rises from TL to TH. State 4 is such that when the low temperature reservoir is removed, the insulation is put back on the cylinder head and the gas is compressed in a reversible manner. The gas returns to its initial state. The temperature rises from TL to TH during the reversible adiabatic compression process, which completes the cycle. The PV diagram of cycle is shown in this figure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to 2, heat is supplied from heat reservoir. 3 to 4 is heat rejected to the heat sink. So remembering that on PV diagram, the area under the process curve represents the boundary work for quasi-equilibrium process. So means the area under this PV diagram give you the net work. We see that the area under curve 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3, which is both are expansion process, is the work done by gas during the expansion part of the cycle. And the area under the curve 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, both are compression process. The area is the work done on the gas during the compression part of cycle. The area enclosed by the path of the cycle 1, 2, 3, 4 is the difference between these two and represent the net work done during the cycle. So area under 1 to 3 is this total area, and area under 3, 4, 1 is this much amount of area, and when you take the difference of these two, you will get this net amount of work which is obtained during the cycle. Notice that if we acted distinctly and compress the gas at state 3 adiabatically instead of isothermally in an effort to save QL, means if we want to save this QL amount which we had rejected, if we do so, then if you compress the gas, then this process will be from 3 to 2 in the reverse direction. By doing so, we would save QL, but we would not be able to obtain any net work output from the engine. If we do reverse process from 3 to 2, so you can say under PV diagram there would be no area, so net work output will be 0. So this illustrates once more the necessity of a heat engine exchanging heat with at least 2 reservoirs at different temperatures to operate in a cycle and produce a net amount of work. The Carnot cycle can also be executed in a steady flow system. It is discussed in earlier chapters in conjunction with other power cycles. Being a reversible cycle, the Carnot is the most efficient cycle, operating between two specified temperature limits. Even though Carnot cycle cannot be achieved in reality, the reverse Carnot cycle, if we reverse the direction of these all processes, means 1 to 4, we reverse the direction, 4 to 3, we reverse the direction, and for all these 4 processes, if we reverse the direction, we will get this a PV diagram of reverse Carnot cycle, which is here. Therefore, all processes that comprise it can be reversed. in which case it becomes a Carnot refrigeration cycle. This cycle is also called Carnot refrigeration cycle. This time the cycle remains exactly the same, except that the directions of any heat and work interaction are reversed. In the previous cycle we had produced this amount of net work, but in this cycle we have to supply this amount of work so that we can take energy from the low temperature, that is QL, and we can transfer heat to the high temperature. This time the cycle remains exactly same, except that the direction of any heat and work interactions are reversed. Heat in the amount of QL is absorbed from low temperature reservoir. Heat in the amount of QH is ejected at a high temperature reservoir, and a work input of W in is required to accomplish this. So this way we can use this concept for the refrigeration purpose also, but in this case we have to supply work to the, you can say, this piston cylinder arrangement. We have to supply work to the system